What's up? Seth Williams. Alright, so let's take a little trip down. I need to go get a random checkup lane. So you go to the doctor, and what does the doctor do? He goes to find something wrong with you, because that's what doctors do. They go, I'm looking for anything out of the norm. So they take your blood work, blah, blah, blah. Let's just say they say, hey, you got high cholesterol. You have hypercholesteremia, is what they like to call it now, which I think is hilarious. Well, what does this mean? Well, high cholesterol could mean that you're lifting weights. High cholesterol could mean that you've eaten a shellfish within the last week. High cholesterol could mean that your brain is in need of what it is 76% composed of, cholesterol. High cholesterol could mean that you're temporarily needing to produce more cholesterol to connect your muscle to your bone. And that's that sticky cholesterol. Why is sticky cholesterol sticky? Well, you have this funny thing. Throughout the cardiovascular system, right? We have veins and we have arteries. The veins are just smooth. They shoot blood through. The arteries actually have little muscles around them that help the heart to pump. They contract and release with the heart. So the arteries are naturally under more pressure, more stress than the veins. This is why we only develop blockages in arterial walls, mainly right around that valve that goes to the heart right there. Okay? When they're under this stress and they start to crack, like a water hose would if you squeeze it enough, right? Well, then they start to leak. This is called internal bleeding. Now, if you have an internal bleeding, the brain goes, whoa, can't have that. Produce the sticky cholesterol. Sticky cholesterol goes in there, sticks right there to stop you from internally bleeding. Think about it like going inside the water hose and putting some gum on it, right? Keep it from leaking out. The problem is whenever that crack gets so big that we start to create a blockage or we internally bleed to death. Catch-22. The body doesn't have any other option, right? What if instead of taking a cholesterol-lowering drug, which, by the way, has not been shown to reduce the incidence of heart attack by any. As a matter of fact, it does show that people with lower cholesterol have higher incidence of Alzheimer's and dementia and every other brain problem you can think of. So, when we have this cholesterol too low, it is more likely that the muscle releases from the bone that's stuck there through this LDL, sticky cholesterol, and shoots up into your shoulder. This is why cholesterol or statin drugs cause muscle wasting disease. Okay, this muscle wasting disease is a disease of the body. When you can't stick that, when you lift weights, the body has to develop a stronger bond to that bone. So when we lift weights, your cholesterol goes up to create a better bond to hold that together. The brain itself has 76% cholesterol by weight for us to function. Every hormone is made from this cholesterol. So if we have that cracked and bleeding arterial wall, would it not be better to give the body the raw material it needs to rebuild the arteries? Well, what would happen if we do this? Well, then your cholesterolitis is no longer needed before long because you put elasticity back in the arterial walls. Now, what do we do this with? High doses of MSM and vitamin C. MSM and vitamin C provide elasticity to the arterial walls so they can flex and bend so they stop cracking and bleeding and start to repair. Beyond that, there's a product called Heart by NHC Herbs. You can go look at it, nhcherbs.com. But this product, Heart, was made because of the formula of Dr. Matthias Rath, who reversed heart disease in every one of his patients over 12-year period. Had 1,000 patients, reversed heart disease in every one of them, but he didn't use a drug, so he can't use his formula in the pharmaceutical halls. He can't teach the doctors. We derived that formula from his findings. So when you put that raw material in the body so the body can rebuild at a cellular level, it heals. And then you no longer have to damage the liver, cause the muscle wasting disease, cause the forgetfulness and the cognitive problems that come with statin drugs. That seems to me to be a whole lot better way to go about things than to take one of those statin drugs like Crestor, Zocor, Pravachol, Lovastatin, you name it. Every one of those has the side effects of, number one, muscle wasting disease. Number two is liver issues. Number three, and the liver, see, it damages the liver because the liver produces the most of the cholesterol in the body. When you damage the liver, what'll happen is it'll stop producing as much cholesterol. That way you get a good number, but you still got to crack the bleeding arterial wall. You still got the same damn problem. So you can go about things the way of the medical profession and you'll get the same results that they've gotten. How's heart disease going? Over the last, I think, 10 years, we have increased heart disease by a third. They suck at this. They suck so bad at this, I would fire myself if I were them. On the other hand, people with higher cholesterol have less incidence of Alzheimer's, less incidence of dementia, less problems with muscle and sarcopenia, which is the wasting away of muscle as we age, less incidence of even heart failure, I promise you. So there's actually 17 studies showing that you have less likelihood of dying of a heart attack if you have higher cholesterol. Imagine that. Now, I say all this to say that there's always a natural, better way to give the body the raw material it needs to heal at a cellular level. There's always a natural way. Now, there is a time for medications. There is a time for drugs. When is the time for drugs? For recreation. See, if I break my arm, I want a painkiller while I recreate that bone. But when recreation is done, stop the dope. Drugs are always meant to be temporary. Supplements, nutrition, and vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, simple sugars, protein, water, and air, food is a necessity all the time. So what happens whenever we take said medication, we can become dependent physically on it. That's bad. We alter the body's processes until it becomes used to that, and then it's really hard to stop. It's the equivalent of putting moonshine in your gas tank and driving around. The car is going to run, it just doesn't run as well. Neither do you. So to do things from a natural, honest standpoint, what you do is you find the raw materials that the body's lacking, you provide those and let the body do what God designed it to do, to heal. This way we make it 120 years without disease, we feel good, we are completely cognitive, functional, and we can perform at stay at our peak for the majority of our life. That is preferable over walking around as a drugged zombie, as most people do in this society today, because the pharmaceutical industry has absolutely doped the whole United States. We take more drugs on average than the top 2 nations below us, combined. And we spend more than the top 4 combined, and we get worse results. That's a problem. So that's why I'm all behind this RFK Jr., Maha, Make America Healthy Again. I'm going to make Athens healthy again. with the right knowledge and a little bit of common sense, I think we can reverse our current medical conditions and become not only good, but better than we have ever been. And that's the goal. You know, the goal is not to take this cholesterol lowering drug until something horrible happens to me. The goal is to heal from the damaged arterial wall by giving my body the raw material necessary to rebuild at a cellular level. And then I don't have to deal with that anymore. Same thing with almost every degenerative disease out there. So anyway, check us out, nhcherbs.com. If you're taking a statin, I would stop. That's just me. Now, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. I don't kill that many people. I'm simply someone who has done a lot of studying, and this is what I would do, or this is what I do. So watch, if I just tick over, then, you know, I've done it wrong. But as of now, I'm in pretty damn good health. So got a dry mouth. That's about it. Cured. See there? Gave my body the raw material necessary that it needed to fix the problem. Now I don't have the problem anymore. It's that simple. Love y'all. Peace.